Xin chào quý vị và các bạn. Ngày hôm nay tôi rất vinh dự có mặt ở đây để cùng quý vị và các bạn tham gia vào một cuộc trò chuyện mà sẽ rất có ý nghĩa với những người quan tâm đến đầu tư tại nước Mỹ và sẽ còn ý nghĩa hơn với những người thật sự mong muốn sở hữu cho mình một chiếc thẻ xanh, một tấm vé visa, một chiếc vé vào cửa để đến với miền đất hứa của nước Mỹ. Và ngày hôm nay thì chúng ta vinh dự chào đón những vị khách đặc biệt đến từ đất nước Mỹ. Đó là ông Robert Frost, người đại diện và cũng là tổng giám đốc đang điều hành của công ty L1. Người đứng bên cạnh tôi, bên cạnh đây một người phụ nữ vô cùng xinh đẹp và cũng vô cùng quan trọng, người sẽ dẫn dắt rất nhiều các nhà đầu tư đến với nước Mỹ, đó là chị Cathy Nguyễn. Và người phụ nữ với mái tóc vàng nổi bật ở buổi talk show của chúng ta ngày hôm nay chính là luật sư Winka, người sẽ đưa ra những lời hướng dẫn và những chỉ dẫn quan trọng cho những nhà đầu tư. Và để có thể giúp quý vị và các bạn hiểu rõ về món quà, về chương trình mà chúng tôi mang đến với quý vị ngày hôm nay, thì hãy bắt đầu buổi talk show này. Tôi sẽ dành quyền đặc biệt cho người đàn ông duy nhất, nổi bật nhất đang có mặt tại talk show ngày hôm nay. Mr. Robert, nice to meet you in Hanoi, and because you are very special, you are the only man in this talk show, so maybe you are the first.
I like the odds.
Oh, thank you so much. Let's spend some minutes for you to introduce yourself and your company to the audience, please.
Okay. My name is Robert Frost. This is one of many trips that I've made to Vietnam over the years. My original trip to Vietnam was courtesy of the U.S. government in 1970, 48 years ago. I was a young man here, primarily in the area around Saigon, Cu Chi, Tay Ninh, and places like that, Bien Hoa, and in the south of Vietnam. And I spent a year here. Fell in love with the people, fell in love with the country. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth. Beautiful beaches, mountains, everything. And made many good friends here. And then I left, and it was another 45 years before I returned to Vietnam 3 years ago. And have been able to meet a few new friends, obviously, but also I found a couple of old friends from long ago, and it was nice to have a reunion with them. I love being here in this country. The food is good, the people are nice, and I have become close friends with some of the Vietnamese in the community that have been involved in our project here for the past couple of years. So it's always, I feel at home here, actually. I don't feel homesick at all.
Oh, welcome home.
Yeah, well, thank you, thank you. And I enjoy being here, and so sometimes I have to go home because I have to pay the bills and do things like that.
Okay. So we can consider that it is not the first time you come to Vietnam, and you have so long term and memories with us, with Vietnamese people, and that's why you come to Vietnam to bring a very big gift for Vietnamese investor. That is the program to work with your company, right?
Yes, I hope that we can help them be very successful in America. I think that our program is an opportunity for them to do that. And I enjoy working with the Vietnamese. The Vietnamese culture is one of hardworking people, very smart people, people that you can enter into a contract with and they will keep their word. Okay, and that's very important. We like to do what we say we're going to do, and my Vietnamese clients do what they say they're going to do, and that's very good. So we have an excellent relationship. But I tell some of my friends, I may even be here someday when I'm old. I'm only 71 now, but someday when I retire, I may retire on the beach around Van Rang or Trang or someplace like that, and just have a t-shirt and a ball cap and lie on the beach every day and drink ba ba ba.
Yeah, his favorite beer, ba ba ba.
Ba ba ba.
Ba ba ba.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Beer ba ba.
Oh!
Yeah, ba ba ba.
Ba ba ba.
Many years ago, it was ba mui ba.
Yeah.
But so much time has gone by that they've added a 3, so it's now ba ba ba.
So maybe we will have a party with ba ba ba.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we should do that.
Yeah, we should.
If I
do
retire
that.
here,
When we
I will have a
things,
party at my
going,
house.
Party going.
You know that we have the investor will have many choice to choose the company to invest. But can you please help us to understand, to clarify the advantage from your company?
Yes.
Or in other words, why investors should invest in your company, prefer company than the other?
Right. Well, we have two different investment programs depending upon what the needs of the investor are. One is the EB5 program, which has been around for almost, I guess, 30 years, 1990, and has become fairly popular in Vietnam over the past few years. And it's a green card program that leads to U.S. citizenship, and it's an investment in a project that we have in Texas in the oil fields. I'm from Texas. I was born in Houston. I live in Houston, and I was raised in Texas. And so oil is probably the #1 industry in our economy. And the Texas economy is the #7 economy in the world. If Texas were a country all by itself, it would be the 7th largest economy in the world. So oil is very, very important to us. And so we have an opportunity for our investors to come to the United States and be invested in a project that services the oil and gas industry, specifically water recycling. We take the water from the oil that comes up. When oil comes up out of the ground, it's not just oil, it produces a lot of water, and the water is very dirty. It has salt in it, it has heavy metals in it, it has dirt, suspended solids, it has bacteria, all of those things. So the water is very, very toxic. And there's a shortage of water in the oil fields of Texas, and so we have the technology now to take that water once the oil has been separated from it and recycle the water, clean it to the point it's not drinkable, it's not good for agriculture, but it's certainly good enough for reuse in the oil industry, particularly for fracking a well. And so that's our opportunity. It's a very lucrative opportunity, and our project has been around long enough now that the U.S. government, the USCIS specifically, has approved our project as an investment project, and we have a number of investors, primarily from Vietnam, who have already gone through the process for a couple of years, 2.5 years, and have been approved by the U.S. government to go there on a green card. So there are risks associated with any investment and moving halfway around the world to another country. But what we've done is try to mitigate those risks, try to reduce the risk as much as possible for the immigrant investor. Because really, there's three things they want. They want to immigrate and get their green card for themselves and their family. They want their children to go to school there or perhaps go on to the universities in the United States. They want to get their investment back eventually, and they'd like to make a little bit of money on the investment while they're waiting to go through this process, which is 5 or 6 years. So I think our project is strong enough that all three of those conditions, those risks have been met. Obviously, there's no guarantees with anything, but I think as projects go, we have one of the best projects in the United States right now for someone that's looking to go in that direction. We've also created another program that for the L1 investor. That's someone who is part of a company here, perhaps in Vietnam, a successful company, and they want to expand to the United States with a business operation, some type of business entity in the United States, and they can use that program as a way to invest in a business, or start a business, or create a business in the United States. That's a part of the business they have here in Vietnam, and then they can go over to the United States with their family and they can manage that business. And it's a very profitable investment. It's specifically trucking for the oil and gas industry. As I mentioned earlier, one of the byproducts of oil and gas is the water that comes up with it, and it has to be disposed of or it has to be recycled, such as what we do. But there is a logistical challenge in getting the water from the oil well, which may be 5 miles away, 10 miles away, to the recycling facility where we can clean the water. And there are two methods of getting that water back and forth. One is by pipeline, and one is by truck. And they're both equally used. And so there's a shortage of trucking business trucking entities out there to carry that water, and there's a shortage of pipelines. So it's a very lucrative business opportunity for someone if they want to get into the trucking business with this L1 project that we're sponsoring. And we virtually become their client because we can provide them with the water they need to haul, and that's how they make their money. So the two fit hand in glove, and it's a very successful business opportunity, one that will lead to a long-term visa in the United States. And perhaps if they even want to convert to a green card at some point, they can do that. So that's what we're offering. And I come over here every 2 or 3 months, and I've met every single investor we have in person. I think it's important that they meet us, that they know our project, and that they meet me, because I'm the one that's responsible for making all of this happen. And I want to meet them. I want to know about their life. I want to know about their families. I want to know what it is they want. And if it's a good fit, then we not only become business partners, we become friends.
Yeah.
Theo ý mình thấy là phim Việt thì nó rất là dài dòng, mình có thể chạy
được
subtitle, subtitle
hoặc là follow
conversation.
đúng rồi, thay đổi đúng.
Thank you, Mr. Robert. So the audience can understand that in order to invest in your company, they also have invest to buy truck, buy drive, and they will have revenue and income from working with you and your business. Yes, and I think that is a good opportunity to invest not only Vietnamese people. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very possessive. Yes,
Right.
potential very
Right.
good.
Right.
And I think that for Vietnamese investor, they need not only about the opportunity to work with Robert here, but Vietnamese investor doesn't they don't understanding about American market. They don't understand about the US law, and that's why they need help from this green card. Nice to meet you, and thank you so much for being here with us. Yes.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, I know that your company is very famous because you have experience to work and to serve hundreds of clients, and most of clients they have ability, they have demand for visa and green card. So why you think that the company of Robert can help us, and why you choose Robert?
Thank you. I'm a U.S. licensed attorney. I have a law firm in Houston, Texas called Toppings Law Firm. I have 6 attorneys that work for me, and we offer corporate law and immigration law, U.S. immigration law services. I am here touring Vietnam for the 7th time. I've been in this country 7 times. I enjoy it very much. I've represented Vietnamese investors before, worked with them and have approvals, both Eb5, visa, green cards, as well as other visas. But I'm here with Robert and our team because I believe very strongly that Robert's project is a great project for Eb5, and even a greater project for L1 visa, 2 different types of visas, which I will explain in a minute. But I wouldn't be here supporting the project if I didn't think legally that it works for the visa very well as is a good business to invest from a corporate lawyer analysis. Because I represent the investor. I'm good friends with Robert and the team. I support them in these activities to explain the legal aspect of the investment. But I would always represent the investor. That's my client, right? So I'm interested in supporting Robert and his project because it is good for the visa and it's a good business. 2 elements, very important.
Yeah, I think that's for the investor, they have to understand clearly about your choice, about why you support Robert, and also about the company with Robert too. But let me make a question. Today I see beside you have beautiful girl.
I do.
Thank you. And you know what? Actually, Wilka Law Firm, they all beautiful. You have to go on their
Only
website
woman.
and check. Only
Oh,
women.
we have
Only woman.
all women
They're
law firm.
gorgeous.
Yes,
Yeah.
from all of the.
Side note for everybody.
Yeah. It's a very diverse group. We have U.S. People. We have Mexican background. We have Lebanese. We have Indian. We're missing Vietnamese, but now we have Vietnamese. Another beautiful woman.
Yes, I'm very interested with her because I'm so quite surprised that beside you have a Vietnamese girl and she's very beautiful. And for the Vietnamese man investor, you have to take note that in Hoi Thao office we have many wonderful and beautiful girls.
We're lucky. I was interested in looking for a partner in Vietnam, a lawyer, successful lawyer, to help me do a better job for the Vietnamese investor. Sometimes it's difficult for outside from Vietnam to understand the Vietnamese culture, the Vietnamese documents, the legal process, the language. I don't speak Vietnamese. Like to, but I don't. And we're presenting a very important documents to the US government for approval. And I need to make sure that what I'm presenting is correct, is good documents, and they're legal documents. Okay, so I need a partner in Vietnam to support me, to support the investor. So I reached out to my friend Kathy, who invited me to Vietnam, and she introduced me to a wonderful attorney, Miss Amy Lay. Sorry, I misspelled her name. Amy Lay, and we've made an agreement that she will support me in Vietnam, being a lawyer in Vietnam, successful lawyer with a successful law firm. She will support me in supporting the investor. And that for me, it's an incredible help because now I don't have to worry, am I understanding the investor? Is he understanding me? I can communicate better, faster, I can move faster, and I can get good documents from Amy's office. And the investor feels that they can work with somebody that they understand each other. Sometimes these visas can be complicated, and the evidence, the proof, it's not easy to obtain. Sometimes the investor doesn't understand why I need something. Why do you ask me for that document? Well, I just work with Amy and her law firm, and she can explain it in a way the investor understands. So everything is smooth, and it's gonna be more efficient, better work, better quality. So I'm very happy, and I've told Amy that for any of her clients in Vietnam that wishes to invest in the United States, form a company, establish investment companies or make investments, I can support her because we have 6 US attorneys ready to help the Vietnamese. So we have an alliance. I call it a strategic alliance between our law firms to better help the investor.
Yeah.
So I'm very privileged to work with.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, both of you. And Miss Amy, nice to meet you today. And I think that a lot of people will wondering why you want to serve the Vietnamese investor who have to demand in Eb5 green card, and why you choose green card. How you feel about her?
No, well, actually, that's a wonderful question, but a little bit difficult. Thank you very much, Wilka, for introducing me. And it's my great pleasure to work with you and your firm and with Mr. Robert.
Baldy.
Yeah. So, actually, I'm a founder and managing partner of Rolling Vietnam. So Rolling Vietnam is a local establishment law firm in Vietnam, but we serve international clients over the world. And I came to Eb5 and L1 from Granvia County, and previously via some, that immigration agents in Vietnam as well. So the reason why I choose to serve clients in Vietnam for the immigration in the US because I found it's a huge demand, and you know that when it is a change, because now the immigration is not limited, it's not limitation to the cross border and something like that, but immigration is now all over the world, and you know that it is very naturally that Vietnamese clients want to invest overseas, and at the same time they look for opportunity for their children's future, and that's why we found it's very practical and naturally to have our client in Vietnam. And you know that when our client in Vietnam working with US law firm for Eb5 or L1 or whatever program, so they will need to have some Vietnamese lawyer who understand very well about the culture. And so Wilka already mentioned about that, the culture, the language, the differences between the legal framework of corporate side. So that's what we help them to clarify everything, to do the due diligence, to whether their profile match any program, any project. So that is the reason why I came to that impression, and being in partnership with Wilka's law firm is a great pleasure, and I think that's a great alliance for us to to enhance everything and then to push forward our program in the future.
Yeah. Quý vị và các bạn thân mến, thì hôm nay chúng ta đã được nhìn thấy rằng có mặt ở đây thì đều là những người hoàn toàn có thể mang đến cho các bạn sự tin cậy. Đầu tiên thì chúng ta đã được trò chuyện với Mr. Robert, đó là người sẽ mang đến cho các bạn cơ hội được đầu tư vào công ty của ông. Và tôi có thể hiểu rằng với bất kỳ một người đầu tư nào ở Việt Nam thì các bạn đang gặp được một effective team, đúng vậy. Đúng không ạ? Chúng ta đang có một team hoạt động rất là hiệu quả trong việc giúp các bạn kết nối đến với miền đất của Mỹ. Từ việc các bạn có thể nhận được sự giúp đỡ từ một luật sư người Việt Nam trong quá trình ở Việt Nam cũng như là ở nước Mỹ. Các bạn có thể nhận được sự giúp đỡ cũng như là hướng dẫn từ một công ty luật ở Mỹ bản địa sẽ giúp các bạn trả lời tất cả các câu hỏi cũng như là giải quyết những vấn đề khó khăn ở trên đất Mỹ. Và một người nữa cũng rất quan trọng trong X-Team này của chúng ta, đó là chị Cathy, người sẽ giúp các bạn trong việc hòa nhập tiếp cận cũng như là có thể đón nhận tất cả các cơ hội đầu tư tại nước Mỹ. Miss Cathy, it is the second time I have the occasion to work with you. I'm very honored to be here the second time to see you again. And normally let's you introduce yourself and your story to the audience.
Cho tôi xin nói tiếng Việt Nam thì tại vì tôi hiểu tiếng Việt Nam nhiều hơn là tiếng Mỹ và tôi nói cái này với khách Việt Nam, thành ra nếu mà có gì làm ông Robert với bà Wilka không hiểu thì nhờ Vivi nói sau. Thì tôi đã làm việc giúp đỡ các khách muốn đầu tư hoặc là đầu tư định cư hoặc là phát triển ở Mỹ đã 9 năm. Thì tôi nhận thấy rằng Việt Nam mình cũng như các bạn ở đây đã nói rằng đang có một cái demand, là có một cái mong muốn, một cái thị trường rất lớn về đầu tư, định cư, học hành này thì rất nhiều. Thành ra những cái dịp được làm việc trực tiếp với khách Việt Nam thì đương nhiên là mình là người Việt Nam, mình làm việc với người Việt Nam rất là thuận lợi và mình hiểu được tâm tư nguyện vọng sâu sắc hơn những người dân tộc khác, và rất là làm cho công việc mình có ý nghĩa hơn, là mình đã mang lại cho khách của mình cái được thành công, được đạt được cái ước mơ của họ, để giúp được các cháu đi học, rồi giúp mọi người hội nhập vào xã hội mới, về văn hóa, về ngay cả về ngôn ngữ, rồi tiếp tục là phát triển kinh tế ở nước Mỹ, chứ không phải là mình qua bên đó mình đầu tư ra đấy xong mình không có phát triển kinh tế. Thành cái đó là rất là hân hạnh và được rất phải nói là được rất là honor trong vòng 9 năm nay, là giúp các bạn thành công đã nước Việt Nam rồi, bây giờ thành công tiếp tục ở bên Mỹ, đạt được những cái nguyện vọng của con cái và gia đình.
Vâng, có thể thấy rằng là đối với những nhà đầu tư Việt Nam thì chị Cathy không chỉ là người dẫn đường, còn là người bạn đồng hành trong suốt quá trình mà họ có thể đến được miền đất mà họ mong muốn. Và tôi nghĩ rằng là các bạn cũng thể nhìn thấy ở đây chúng ta có sự giúp đỡ từ ông Robert, từ chị Cathy, từ chị Ami và từ bà Wika. Thì chúng ta hoàn toàn có thể tin tưởng rằng đồng tiền của các bạn khi đầu tư vào dự án này chắc chắn sẽ mang đến cho các bạn không chỉ lợi nhuận mà còn có các cơ hội visa nữa. Vậy thì tại sao chúng ta không tìm hiểu cách rõ ràng hơn? Có thể là rất nhiều người đang đặt câu hỏi là L1 visa và Eb5 thì nó khác nhau như thế nào, đúng không ạ? Và có lẽ rằng quý vị và các bạn cần phải hiểu rõ sự khác biệt giữa hai loại visa này để có thể chắc chắn rằng khoản đầu tư của mình là đúng đắn và phù hợp với nhu cầu của cá nhân mỗi người. Câu hỏi này thì có lẽ là tốt nhất để cho Miss Wilka sẽ trả lời cho quý vị và các bạn. Miss Wilka, many investors, Vietnamese investors, they don't understanding the difference between L1 visa and Eb5 green card. Could you please clarify for them?
Definitely. EB5 visa is a U.S. permanent resident green card. It is the most direct way to get a United States green card for the applicant, the spouse, and all children under 21 years of age, with one investment of $500,000 US, for the most part, that's the amount, into a EB5 project that's approved by the United States Immigration Agency. So it's one investment, gets the green card for the entire family unit, which in my mind is a great deal, especially when you compare other similar programs in Europe that are far higher than the 500,000. They're over €1 million. And some of them do not return your money. Some of them do not give you a permanent green card. And some of them, even if they give you a permanent residency, they don't lead to citizenship. The United States at the moment has the lowest program through citizenship through investment, because it does give you a green card for you and your family with a $500,000 investment, it's the lowest in the world at the moment, and in 5 years you can apply for citizenship.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
In 5
with
years.
no problem, just a simple paper, very simple process. So I think the United States has the best program in the world. That's why it's so popular, and that's why China has consumed the program and applied in thousands of families, okay? The second country after China is Vietnam in demand, very popular in Vietnam. The third country is India, and the fourth country is Mexico, which is where I do most of my EB5, okay? So it's the most safest direct way to an EB5. However, because of demand and too many people applying, this is such a good program, right now USCIS has a delay. USCIS is the immigration agency, federal immigration agency. They have a delay for China, and now, as of May of this year, a delay for Vietnam. So that means that too many people are applying for the quota for that country.
Yeah.
So this is how popular Vietnam EB5 is. Now, many of our clients don't mind waiting. Why? Because they have small children, and they don't mind waiting 2 years, 3 years to get their children and their families to the United States. They can prepare, they can make arrangements, they can still visit while it's pending, they can make a home purchase, they can do whatever they want, set up a business. But some of our clients tell us, we want to go to the United States faster,
As soon as possible.
as soon as possible. So we had to come up with another solution. And that solution is easy. It's the L1 program. L1A, letter A, program. Which L1 is a temporary visa. It's not permanent residence. It's a 7-year temporary visa, total. You get approved 1 year, then you file an extension permission for 3 years, and then you file another extension for 3 years, that's 7. What do we do for the Vietnamese, anybody really, but the Vietnamese investor we're talking today? We file the L1, we get them into the United States in as little as 3 months from applying. 3 to 4 months, very quick, very quick. We get them approved, they can move, start making preparations to move. Then at 1 year, we file an extension, a petition to extend their visa for 3 years. It's still temporary, but in that 3 year, we file EB1C green card application. L1 has the ability to file a green card. EB1C is called multinational manager. And that is the version of the green card for L1 people. And that's what gets them the green card, and that takes 4 months. So you can see how quickly we can get to a green card with L1. So 3 months, a year later, 3 more months, so 1 year and 6 months, you can have a green card. Now, it's 3 processes, quick. Or EB5, one application, one investment, and wait 2 to 3 years to come into the country, to begin your life. And that's the difference. So it depends on how the family feels about waiting. Maybe they want to wait. I have clients that want to wait because they have things to do or obligations, or their parents want to take care of their parents, or whatever situation. But other families, we want to go fast. So that's why the L1 is here. L1, I will say, is a more, laborious or harder visa to work for the lawyers. And I'm going to depend a lot on my friend, colleague, Amy and Kathy. But you also have to have the right visa project for L1. Not all qualify. Not all investments qualify. So we have to be very careful, and the investor has to be very careful that what they're investing to get the L1 will qualify them to get to the finish line, which is EB1C green card. So as a lawyer, Amy and I will be working with the investor to make sure that they can get to the green card. And we're going to be joined together with the investor for a minimum of 3 years. I'm going to become their best friend.
You have a long time to work with them.
Yes.
It's very easy to become friends.
Because you're worrying about the family and making sure, okay, I got you to the United States, congratulations, but I got to extend you and keep you in the United States, and then I have to get you to the green card. So we're going to be working together closely to make sure we have everything done very well. So I was always looking for a project that would be L1 strong to get them to the green card. So finally Robert shows up and in my life and I said, good, it's a great project. So, a person can do L1 with their own investment. Let's say I want to establish a restaurant or nail salon or hair salon or real estate. But that may never get you to the L1 green card because it's not organized the correct way. And very disappointing that you put money and you can't even get an extension. And then what happens? You have to come back to Vietnam and what? So if I were an investor from another country, I don't understand the United States. Perhaps don't even speak the language, perhaps. I would be very nervous to do this on my own. It's like me coming to Vietnam to do a business, and I don't know the language, the culture, the banking system, the society, school, real estate. I would fail, probably, unless I get a partner from Vietnam that I trust, right? That will help me manage my business until I learn. So I always say to foreign investors, always find a partner that will teach you and will manage your business for you until you can learn how to do business. And I know Vietnamese are very smart people and they're hard workers and they will learn quick. If anything Vietnamese know how to do is business. Trust me, I've been all over the world, it's amazing. So they just need a couple of years of time to understand. So what Robert provides is what we call in the United States, and I'm not sure there's a Vietnamese translation for that, but it's called turnkey. It's a package all put together. Like you just turn the key to open, that's it. It's called turnkey that way. It's already formed, structured, and managed. And you will reap the benefits of that. Meantime, you come to the US and you're going to learn very quickly about schools and living and banking, credit, how to buy a business, how to buy a shopping center, how to buy real estate, how to set up. You're going to learn. But in the meantime, Robert and his team will help you manage your investment. And that is worth gold. And that's why I like it.
Yeah, and so we can consider that Robert not only sell or providing opportunity to invest, but only a key to open package.
Yes, yes.
Right.
It's turnkey, and he'll do everything, and you will be learning and being safe and secure that your business is not going to fail because you don't understand. It's going to be managed, and then you have the freedom to learn and do other businesses. We want you to do other businesses, to learn and get into the community and contribute and buy something and establish your own business. But Robert's project, it's the like landing for the airline. You know, it's like a landing path for you to land, and we provide you that, and so that's what I like, and it's a perfect combination. I've seen a few other projects that provide this support, but not many. So I advise the investor to always find a partner when you're going into a new country, and then invest with a partner, and Robert's company will be your partner.
Yeah, so I think that it's very easy to understand that investor will feeling so it's scary to lose, scary of losing money in USA. Yes, and that's why Robert will help us, will help investor to make sure that their investment not only just buying a visa, but also make sure that the investment will turn into income and revenue and money for them. Right.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I was saying that before we started rolling the cameras. For me, as a lawyer, I know Amy feels the same way. We want the visa, sure, but we want a good investment. I mean, what good is a visa if you're losing money? It doesn't make sense. I'll just stay in Vietnam or go to another country. And what good is a good business if you can't go there? So if you can't visit, maybe you want the money, but I like to go visit my investment and enjoy living in the country and enjoying the benefits of the United States, many benefits. The United States, you know, we have the strongest economy in the world. Our currency is the strongest currency, or one of the strongest. So it's a great place to put your money.
Right.
But we want you to visit and be able to come and enjoy and put your children to study American universities, get a degree, learn English, I don't know, live in a beautiful place, home, dollarize your money. So the two have to happen. You have to have the visa and the investment. And both have to work for you. And that's what I'm looking for.
Yes, so both visa and company and business that the investor must to take note and must understand clearly about both of them, because they are the two conditions to make sure that they will have the long term in USA. Yes, and thank you, Ms. Wingras, to help audience understanding the difference between L1 visa and Eb5 program, and understanding the money to invest in this program will bring us not only the visa but also that the revenue and income, and also make sure for that investment in USA. And Ms. Ami, based on your experience to work with international clients and also Vietnamese clients, could you please tell us that Vietnamese investor that prefer L1 or Eb5 and why?
Okay, let me explain this in Vietnamese so that our audience can understand well about your question and my answer. Em có thể lặp lại câu hỏi bằng tiếng Việt luôn để mình có thể giao lưu.
Qua phần giới thiệu của Miss Wingras thì có lẽ là quý vị cũng đã hiểu rõ hơn được về sự khác nhau giữa visa L1 và visa của Eb5. Hai loại visa này khác nhau không chỉ ở thời gian chờ đợi, mà quan trọng nhất đó là cái mục đích của quý vị và các bạn khi apply hai loại visa này. Hai loại visa này sẽ mang đến không chỉ là thời gian chờ đợi khác nhau, mà rõ ràng là từng bước một để đạt được green card của hai loại visa này là khác nhau. Và với sự khác biệt như vậy thì ở thị trường Việt Nam thì nhà đầu tư Việt Nam thường thích visa L1 hơn hay là visa Eb5 hơn, và vì sao? Câu hỏi này thì hãy để cho Amile sẽ giúp quý vị và các bạn, với kinh nghiệm của chị thì chị sẽ có thể giúp quý vị và các bạn hiểu được rõ vì sao mà nhà đầu tư Việt Nam lại chọn visa khác.
Vâng, thưa quý vị, thì thực ra là nếu mà chúng ta so sánh rằng là nhà đầu tư sẽ lựa chọn visa Eb5 hay là L1 thì cũng sẽ rất là khó để mà khẳng định là nhà đầu tư sẽ thích cái hình thức nào. Bởi vì L1 là một cái hình thức mà visa sau này, những cái chính sách mới ra của chính phủ Mỹ sau này, chính phủ Hoa Kỳ sau này, và trong khi đấy thì là Eb5 là tức là Eb5 đã có mặt ở trên thị trường từ rất là lâu rồi, và rất là nhiều nhà đầu tư thì đã rất là quen thuộc. Nói đến là Eb5 thì ai đấy cũng đều là nói, nếu mà nói đến đi Mỹ thì cái từ Eb5 nó đã ở trong đầu từ rất là lâu rồi. Vì thế cho nên là bây giờ mà nói là nhà đầu tư thích cái loại hình visa nào thì chúng ta cũng khó để mà khẳng định cái điều đó. Tuy nhiên về xu hướng mà nói thì với những cái đặc điểm khá là nổi trội của L1 như là luật sư Ca vừa mới nói đến, và vì cái thời gian nó nhanh hơn và tất cả những cái quy trình xét duyệt, mặc dù là cái điều kiện thì có những cái yêu cầu phải đáp ứng từ đầu, phải làm rất là minh bạch rõ ràng từ đầu. Tuy nhiên thì với những cái ưu điểm của L1 thì tôi nhận thấy rằng cái thời gian mà làm việc với khách hàng vừa qua trong những cái dự án là L1 cũng như là cái xu hướng sắp tới thì cá nhân tôi cho rằng sẽ có rất là nhiều khách hàng lựa chọn L1, đặc biệt là những cái thay đổi về mặt chính sách của chính phủ Hoa Kỳ sắp tới, bắt đầu từ tháng 9 thì như chúng ta cũng biết rồi sẽ có những cái thay đổi rất lớn về Eb5. Như vậy thì sẽ có rất là nhiều nhà đầu tư của chúng ta sẽ lựa chọn cái loại hình của visa L1 thay cho là Eb5 với những cái đặc tính nổi trội của L1, đồng thời nó cũng rất là phù hợp với những cái chủ doanh nghiệp vừa và nhỏ tại Việt Nam, đặc biệt khi chúng tôi làm việc, bởi vì khi mà tư vấn những cái vấn đề về pháp lý cho các doanh nghiệp hoạt động tại Việt Nam và đầu tư ra nước ngoài thì chúng tôi có thể thấy rằng là các cái doanh nghiệp, các chủ doanh nghiệp vừa và nhỏ luôn luôn đi kèm với công việc kinh doanh của họ là những cái cơ hội cho cái tương lai của con cái mình ở nước Mỹ và nhiều nước khác cũng thế. Và ngoài cái việc mà cái khả năng sinh lời của cái công việc kinh doanh thì họ lựa chọn một cái nền tảng nơi mà con cái họ có thể thừa hưởng một cái nền giáo dục tốt, có được một cái cơ hội rất tốt để hòa nhập vào cộng đồng và phát triển những cái về con đường công danh sự nghiệp của con cái họ. Thì đấy chính là cái L1 nó mang lại rất là nhiều cái lợi thế để những cái chủ doanh nghiệp, những cái nhà quản lý trong các doanh nghiệp họ phù hợp, họ lựa chọn chương trình này, họ có một cái khoản tiền tiết kiệm được trong cái quá trình kinh doanh ở Việt Nam, trong quá trình quản lý điều hành ở Việt Nam, và muốn vừa đầu tư cái khoản tiền đấy sang Hoa Kỳ, đảm bảo được cái khoản lợi nhuận và hoàn vốn, đảm bảo được cái sự hoàn vốn và có thêm lợi nhuận, đồng thời nó gắn liền với việc là định hình cho tương lai của gia đình của con cái. Thì về xu hướng thì tôi cho rằng là với những cái đặc điểm rất là nổi trội của L1 thì khách hàng sẽ có một cái thiên hướng là lựa chọn cái loại hình cái chương trình visa này nhiều hơn. Đồng thời nó cũng là một cái sự tác động của chính phủ Hoa Kỳ lên cái chính sách đối với Eb5, thì cái việc mà dịch chuyển từ Eb5 sang L1 nó sẽ là khá là đáng kể trong thời gian tới.
Vâng, với sự phân tích của luật sư Amile thì có lẽ quý vị cũng đã hiểu rằng là trong thời gian tới, cụ thể là từ tháng 9 tới đây, thì rõ ràng là chỉ tiêu của visa Eb5 cũng như là khoản đầu tư của visa Eb5 sẽ được nâng lên, cũng như là các điều kiện để có thể apply được loại visa này sẽ khó hơn rất là nhiều. Chính vì vậy và với các doanh nhân của Việt Nam thì việc lựa chọn L1 visa có lẽ là một cái sự lựa chọn thông minh hơn rất nhiều, bởi vì như luật sư Winka vừa mới nói thì rõ ràng là bản thân các nhà đầu tư Việt Nam cũng đã đang hoạt động và kinh doanh tại Việt Nam. Có lẽ trong con người họ, mỗi người chúng ta thì đều có cái máu kinh doanh, và vì thế sẽ mất một khoảng thời gian khoảng tầm từ 2 đến 3 năm thôi để các doanh nhân Việt Nam có thể hiểu rõ được về thị trường Mỹ, về các điều kiện kinh doanh của Mỹ, và họ sẽ có thể nắm bắt được làm thế nào để khoản đầu tư của họ ở nước Mỹ không chỉ là một khoản để mua visa, mà rõ ràng đây là một khoản đầu tư sẽ sinh ra lợi nhuận, và làm thế nào để khoản lợi nhuận đó của họ bình ổn qua các năm. Và tôi nghĩ rằng là để có thể giúp quý vị và các bạn hiểu rõ hơn là làm thế nào mà khoản lợi nhuận này của chúng ta không chỉ mua về một cái visa mà còn có thể tạo ra được revenue, tạo ra được income, tạo ra được đồng tiền cho thế hệ con cái, thì đó chính là sự giúp đỡ đến từ bà Winka cũng như là ông Robert đây. Và tôi cũng thật sự là tò mò muốn hỏi là có lẽ là ông Robert sẽ kể cho chúng ta một vài trường hợp về các nhà đầu tư Việt Nam mà ông đang làm việc đi. Có lẽ ông sẽ có rất nhiều kỷ niệm đối với họ, và quý vị có thể hiểu rõ hơn rằng là việc đầu tư vào công ty của ông Robert cũng như là làm thế nào để hiểu nó, để vận hành nó không phải là một điều gì đó quá khó khăn. Mr. Roberts, that the audience now understanding that investment in your program, in your company is just not only buying a visa, but also that will bring them opportunity to have revenue, to have income, but they will spend 2 or 3 years to understand the company, to understand that how to run the business. Yes, and I think that you will have some Vietnamese investor right now. Yeah, could you
Yes.
please tell the audience about them, about your memory with them, and how how can you help them to understand and to run the business?
Well, we are just beginning this program in Vietnam with this trip, so I suspect before we go home that we will have Vietnamese L1 investors in this particular business opportunity. We have people, a company actually that we use that's very experienced. They manage large fleets of trucks across the country. They help us manage this. There's a lot to the trucking business that can go wrong if you don't know what you're doing. And there are many regulatory bodies who require trucks to be registered. There are taxes to be paid, insurance has to be carried, there are maintenance issues with trucks, there are employment issues, there are all kinds of things that require constant attention and monitoring. And so we don't want the new L1 investor who may have little background experience or experience in the trucking business to think that it's just going to be put on their shoulders and they have to manage it in a new country with a different language, different culture, and all of that. So we have a management company that works very closely with us. We're in partnership with them, and they manage the fleet of trucks, and they do all of the payroll for the drivers, and they pay the taxes, and they pay the insurance, and all of that is charged to the trucking company, the investor's trucking company. But even more importantly, not only does that have to be done, you have to say, okay, I've got these trucks, how am I going to make money with them?
Yeah.
Where's my customer? Okay, so we help them with that process, and that customer generally is going to be my company that has a need to transport water from one location to another location and back. And so when they come to our project, we're going to be one of their clients, if not their only client. They can go find other clients if they like, but we're going to be providing that. So they have revenue beginning from day one, and we help them manage that process. And of course, like anything else, once you spend time in the business, they're going to be managing it in the sense that they're responsible, they're in charge, but they've got to look to somebody. They have to relegate things to people who know what they're doing, and that's where we come in with our management company. We provide the business, we provide the management tools that they need to be successful, and eventually they'll learn enough about it that even if they wanted to leave the management company and go out on their own to do that, they could, especially as they expand their fleet of trucks, as they make money. This is a very, very profitable business, generates a lot of revenue, it generates a lot of income for the investor, and they can live very, very well even with a fairly small, 3 or 5, 6 truck company. But they start getting more and more trucks, then the profitability is quite substantial. So it is a darn good business for someone. And as Wilka said, it really assures them of being able to come to the United States and be in a successful business that will provide a good income for them and their families. It's not cheap to go to school in the universities in our system. They're some of the best universities in the world. But one of the things that's nice about this program too is even if someone lives here in Vietnam and they want to send their son or their daughter to an American university, the foreign tuition and the costs associated with that, even if they can qualify and get in, is substantially more than it would be if they were 3 times. So if they have 2 or 3 children, and you think about a 4-year baccalaureate program, the next thing you know, by coming to the United States, you've saved maybe $500,000 just in tuition and fees by being there. Okay, so there are some very important benefits to that, but at the same time, we expect them to be very involved in our business, in this L1 business. They need to be involved. They need to be managing it. But we report to them. We work for them, and we keep them.
We help them manage
on the track.
Their investment in the U.S. And I just want to put my a little bit information on. We not only introduce this program to Vietnam, not only bringing the opportunity to Vietnam, we're also bringing this opportunity to pretty much everywhere in Asia. So Taiwan, Thailand, Hong Kong, China.
Philippines.
We have been everywhere, and we're very successful with also customer or client from Mexico, Brazil, and other part of the world too. But Mr. Frost has a big love for Vietnam, and he would love to bring the opportunity to Vietnam also.
Yeah. So the Vietnamese audience now, the Vietnamese investor understanding that you are not only bringing opportunity to invest in this program, but your company and Mr. Robert, we help them to manage the investment,
Yes.
manage the company.
Yeah, their company.
Yeah, their company.
Their company that are created in the U.S.
Yes. Why the investors spending 2 or 3 years to understand about your company, about your structure, about how to run the business
Right.
with your help, and then they become the real owner of their company. Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
And I think that you also prefer that because you cannot also manage for many companies, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Ok, quý vị và các bạn thân mến, như vậy là rõ ràng là khi quý vị đầu tư vào công ty của ngài Robert Frost thì đó không chỉ là một khoản đầu tư để quý vị và các bạn mua một cái visa, mà rõ ràng là dưới sự giúp đỡ của ông Robert cũng như là bà Wika và chị Kathy đây thì quý vị và các bạn có thể dùng khoảng thời gian từ 2 đến 3 năm trong lần apply đầu tiên để có được L1 visa, để hiểu về nước Mỹ, hiểu về luật của nước Mỹ, hiểu về làm thế nào để chạy và để điều hành công ty mà chính quý vị và các bạn đã bỏ tiền ra để mở ra đó. Với sự giúp đỡ này thì rõ ràng sau 2 đến 3 năm thì những người Việt Nam chúng ta sẽ rất nhanh chóng có thể hòa nhập được thị trường và biết cách làm như thế nào để điều khiển, để hoạt động chính doanh nghiệp của mình trên đất Mỹ. Và một câu chuyện thú vị khác nữa mà tôi được biết đó là trong quá trình mà ngài Robert Frost nói chuyện thì ngài đã có rất nhiều kỷ niệm ở Việt Nam vào những năm 1970, và có lẽ là với quý vị, những người đang xem chương trình này, có rất nhiều người sinh ra ở thế hệ vào những năm đó và có lẽ là cũng đã có kỷ niệm đối với Việt Nam từ hơn 40 năm trước trở lại đây. Có lẽ quý vị sẽ tìm được rất nhiều những điểm chung từ suy nghĩ của mình với cả ngài Robert Frost đây. Could you please tell the Vietnamese audience about your memories in 1970s when you come to Vietnam?
How much time do you have?
He can talk all night.
Oh, nice.
All night.
We love to say that.
So, okay, tell me about the most important thing for me. You love it. Okay, 1970s. 1, 2, 3,
Go.
I think the most important thing about being here in 1970 and 71 for 1 year is that I survived.
Survive.
It was a very difficult time for everyone in the Vietnamese, and at that time, you know, there were 2 countries. There was North Vietnam and South Vietnam, and I think there were maybe 15 to 18 million people in the North and 15 to 18 million people in the South, and so. And I think now there are about 95 million Vietnamese citizens, so the country has grown tremendously. But I come back and I see so many things that are different, but I also see so many things that are exactly as they were when I left them. Culturally.
Oh, culture.
Yes.
And beautiful women.
Yeah. There are beautiful women here. There's no question about that, and I like women, you know. So it's a good place to, you know, guys are okay, but I like women.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Too much information.
Too much.
But the country is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, especially if you see it from the air like I did, because I was a helicopter pilot, so I flew all over Vietnam, and that beauty is still there. I noticed that there's lakes now that didn't exist when I was here before because they've taken rivers and they've dammed them up and they've created water reservoirs, or what we call lakes. And so the country's more beautiful than it ever was with these big lakes that were not here when I was here before. The cities have grown. I mean, Saigon, for instance, has tall buildings, and before you could go through the city and there were maybe stories, 6, 7 stories was it, and now you have some of the tallest buildings in Asia. So the infrastructure change has probably been the biggest thing that I've noticed. And the other thing that I notice is that the young people are not looking to just survive and find enough food to eat. Everyone has enough food to eat here.
Yeah.
As I tell my friends back in America, one of the things you notice about the Vietnamese now is that the Vietnamese are not skinny. They eat well. There's
Lots of
plenty.
food.
Yeah, food is good.
You love Vietnamese food so much.
Yes,
right?
and there's plenty of protein, and people just eat better. They dress better. They have better medical care than they had before. Back in 1970, as beautiful as it was, and the culture that was there is basically the same culture as today, but people had different priorities. They were trying to survive. They were trying to stay away from where there was military action and things of that nature. And there were many children who were orphaned. And so it was a totally different time in that regard. But the civilian population that we work with, people are the same wherever you go. People in Vietnam want the same thing as people in America want. And that was the same then, but it was so difficult for me to look at the country when I left and say, I feel badly that these people are not doing better than they're doing because of, what was going on with the war between the North and the South. And so when I came back 3 years ago, it was full circle for me. It was a difficult decision. I'd been gone 45 years, and I thought, I want to go back. I want to see if some of my friends are still there. I want to see the country again because it was so beautiful, but at the same time, I don't know what to expect because I remembered it from 1971. And when I came back 3 years ago, I was so pleased with what I saw. I saw young people walking down the streets happy with their cell phones,
Yes.
texting their friends, listening to music, and enjoying life.
Very
And
dynamic life.
And not worried about, am I going to have enough food to eat today? Where am I going to sleep tonight? Okay.
So which Vietnamese food you prefer?
I much prefer the one now. That
Yeah, but which food? What kind
Oh,
of food do you
food?
like?
Oh, I'm a pho eater.
Pho.
Oh yeah, yeah, pho and ba ba ba.
So if the Vietnamese investor want to maybe get connected with you fastly, so don't forget to bring pho and beer ba ba ba.
And spring rolls.
Especially,
Spring rolls.
Yeah,
Salad rolls.
yeah, and spring rolls are good,
Yeah.
and but especially ba ba ba.
Quý vị nhớ là nếu như mà đến thăm ngài Robert đây và nếu như mà muốn nhanh chóng làm quen với CEO của chúng ta thì hãy nhớ là mang theo phở, món ăn Việt Nam, đồ Việt Nam và nhất là bia ba ba ba. Thank you so much. Quý vị và các bạn thân mến, chúng ta có thể hiểu rằng là với việc đầu tư vào chương trình cũng như là đầu tư vào công ty của ông Robert thì quý vị sẽ nhận được sự giúp đỡ không chỉ từ CEO của công ty, từ phía luật sư của bà Winka, từ luật sư Ami, mà còn có một người rất quan trọng bên cạnh tôi, người mà có lẽ là sẽ dành cho quý vị và các bạn những kinh nghiệm mà không ở đâu có thể dạy được bằng chính cuộc sống của chị, bằng chính kinh nghiệm của chị ở trên đất Mỹ và hành trình của chị để có thể có được ngày hôm nay. Đó là chị Cathy. Chị Cathy thân mến, đó là chị đã có khoảng thời gian gần 10 năm rồi đúng không ạ? Có lẽ là phải đến hơn 10 năm đúng không chị?
Đi về.
Để dành thời gian để giúp người Việt Nam có thể đến được nước Mỹ và thực hiện những điều mà họ mong muốn trên đất Mỹ. Vậy chị có thể chia sẻ với quý vị khán giả rõ hơn đó là đối với một nhà đầu tư, một gia đình Việt Nam khi mới đến nước Mỹ thì họ sẽ gặp phải những khó khăn gì nhiều nhất và cần làm như thế nào để vượt qua nó?
Từ một đất nước hoàn toàn khác với đất nước của mình, quê hương của mình đã từng sống vài chục năm, bước chân vào một cái thế giới mới, có thể tốt hơn, có thể là ước mơ của mình, nhưng mà thực sự ra là các sự thay đổi, mà cái sự thay đổi chỗ ở, văn hóa, xã hội và căn nhà thân yêu của mình rồi là cái sự thay đổi mình dùng từ là vĩ đại nhất, một sự thay đổi hoàn toàn thay đổi cuộc sống của mình, đảo lộn hết những cái thói quen bình thường. Thì khách hàng của tôi thì không phải là họ không biết nước Mỹ đâu, họ cũng đã đi chơi nhiều lần, họ đã thăm viếng nhiều nơi và họ cũng đã đi thăm viếng các nước khác ở châu Âu hoặc là châu Á hoặc là những nước ngoài Việt Nam. Thì họ đã cũng hình dung được một phần nào về cái cuộc sống. Nhưng mà khi các bạn đi chơi, đi du lịch, đi cưỡi ngựa xem hoa thì nó hoàn toàn khác với mình là người sinh sống ở đó hàng ngày. Con cái mình sẽ đi học ở đây, mình sẽ phải hội nhập về tiếng nói, khí hậu, văn hóa, các thói quen hàng ngày thì rất là khó khăn. Thành ra chính vì điều đó là tôi mới thành lập và tôi đã theo sát với các nhà đầu tư của chúng tôi để hỗ trợ về tinh thần. Vật chất thì không cần đâu, về tinh thần, về các cái phương tiện, và để làm sao mà hội nhập nhanh nhất, sau đó để phát triển kinh doanh nhanh nhất. Thì đầu tiên đó là các bạn phải xin số an sinh xã hội, là cái đầu tiên khi đến Mỹ, để chính phủ Mỹ biết rằng là mình là người ở đây, hiện diện đây và được đi làm ở đây, và bắt đầu tạo dựng cái profile, là cái bản thân của mình được mới. Thứ hai là đi lái xe, học lái xe. Thì phải nói là các bạn là những tài xế giỏi nhất thế giới rồi. Không ở đâu lái xe giỏi bằng tài xế Việt Nam. Nhưng mà các bạn vẫn phải học lại luật Mỹ, và phải từ học luật đến lái xe thực tế vẫn phải học lại để xin tấm bằng. Cái thứ ba là chọn trường cho con ở. Cái chọn trường cho con học và chỗ mình ở nó luôn luôn đi đôi với nhau. Ở Mỹ nó có không phải là cái vấn đề là phân biệt giai cấp, nhưng mà nếu quý vị chọn cái trường tốt và trường có nổi tiếng thì các bạn phải ở những khu mà dân cư nó khá, nó tóm lại là đắt tiền, và những dân khu nó có những mức sống tốt hơn. Thì các bạn ở bên này đầu tư qua bên Mỹ thì các bạn phải nói là những cái trình độ cũng như là cái mức sống của các bạn khác rồi. Thì các bạn nên mua nhà ở đâu để cho các cháu được học trường tốt ở đâu, thì cái đó là những kinh nghiệm các bạn cần phải có, và các bạn cần phải có những partner hoặc là những người như tôi am hiểu về địa phương đó để mà hướng dẫn các bạn. Tại vì ở bên Mỹ nó không có cái kiểu sống như là một cái nhà kế bên bạn là 2-3 triệu đô, một cái nhà kế bên là 200-300 nghìn. Không có chuyện đó đâu. Nó rất đều. Các bạn có tiền bao nhiêu để mua cái nhà bao nhiêu thì nó có từng khu cho các bạn lựa chọn. Đi đôi việc đó thì cái trường học, thì cái chương trình thì nó giống nhau, bộ giáo dục nó sẽ giống nhau hoàn chất hết, nhưng các cuộc sống xung quanh, các bạn học của mình, của gia đình của bạn học của mình như thế nào, mình bước vào cái lối sống, cái mức sống của dân như thế nào, thì mình phải biết rất kỹ. Cộng với sự an ninh của khu trường đó nữa. Rõ ràng là những khu nhà mắc tiền, những cái khu trường tốt thì cái an ninh của con cái mình nó hơn nhiều.
Cái đó thì không chỉ ở Mỹ mà Việt Nam cũng vậy.
Vâng, đây thì chắc là các bạn đã đi hiểu rồi. Bên Mỹ thì các bạn không biết khu nào thì chúng tôi ở đó chúng tôi biết khu nào, nằm ở đâu, trường nào các cháu sẽ ra trường, mà trường nào các cháu học thì sẽ cứ mất công việc làm tốt và đạt được cái mục đích của mình. Trường học, chỗ ở, sinh hoạt xã hội, chợ búa, chợ Việt Nam nó nằm ở đâu, khu nào thì có chợ Việt Nam, khu nào mình đi chợ ở đâu, rồi shopping, cái shopping nào để các bạn mua áo đầm và mua quần, đại khái vậy. Thì đại khái chỗ nào mà rẻ nhất, đẹp nhất thì chúng tôi biết. Rồi thêm vào đó nữa là phát triển kinh doanh, thì không phải những cái ngành nghề của mình qua đó để mình làm đúng cái phát triển của mình, hoặc là cái dự án của ông Robert đây làm tiền cho mình rồi, nhưng ngoài ra người Việt Nam của mình thì cái máu của mình ít có ai chịu ngồi yên để mà sinh sống vào một cái nguồn tiền đâu. Thế thì cái việc kinh doanh thì mình có tiền, và những người kinh nghiệm như chúng tôi đã kinh doanh ở bên Mỹ mấy chục năm rồi và qua rất nhiều ngành, thì chúng tôi có thể hướng dẫn các bạn là hiện thời ngành nào làm được nhiều tiền nhất, hiện thời để phù hợp với cái vốn của các bạn, hiện thời thị trường đang cần cái gì. Nếu mà về bất động sản thì các bạn giờ này đang nên mua hay nên bán, và nếu bất động sản thì vùng nào là mình có thể có tiền lời lãi nhanh nhất, và vùng nào nó ổn định, và vùng nào không nên đặt chân vào. Thì cái đó là các bạn rất cần thiết để mà hướng dẫn những cái kinh nghiệm như vậy. Đấy là chúng tôi rất là vui và được hướng dẫn như các bạn trong những vấn đề khi mà các bạn bước chân qua Mỹ, khi có tấm thẻ xanh, khi mà đã hội nhập vào xã hội Mỹ.
Vâng, như vậy là chúng ta có thể hiểu một cách đơn giản là làm như thế nào để có được visa thì đi tìm chị Ami và bà Wika. làm nào để làm tiền đẻ ra tiền thì tìm uống robot, còn làm thế nào để ăn ngon ngủ ngon mua đồ ngon mua đồ đẹp ở đâu thì hãy đi tìm chị Cathy, đúng không ạ?
chính xác.
Rõ ràng là chúng ta đã đây có rất nhiều các chuyên gia ở đây để giúp đỡ quý vị và các bạn trong việc làm thế nào để hòa nhập vào trên đất Mỹ và làm thế nào để sống được ở trên đất Mỹ một cách tốt nhất. I have to tell the audience that we can understand clearly that if you want to have green card, to have visa, go to find this green card. And
Thank you.
Army, if you want to make money, become turning into money, come to find Mr. Robert Frost, and he will help you. And if you want to ask about where to buy food, where to buy clothes, how to make entertainment in USA, come to visit Mr. Yeah, they are effective team to help you to live in USA better than
Turnkey.
Yeah, Turkey. Yeah.
Chìa khóa trao
Chìa khóa
tay.
trao tay.
Oh, there is a translation.
Yeah, we have two.
Một câu hỏi là có lẽ là nhiều quý vị khán giả rất muốn hỏi đối với luật sư Winka, đó là đối với kinh nghiệm của chị đây thì có lẽ là chị Winka sẽ giúp quý vị và các bạn hiểu rõ được, đó là một người Việt Nam sau khi apply vào visa L1 và visa Eb5 thì sẽ cần phải chuẩn bị những giấy tờ gì và chuẩn bị những bước như thế nào để tiến hành khoản đầu tư đó của mình, đúng không ạ? Và câu hỏi này thì có lẽ là xin mời cả chị Winka và chị Ami cũng sẽ giúp quý vị và chúng ta có thể hiểu rõ hơn. Okay, Ms. Winka, the investor now understanding the definition of L1 visa, of Eb5 visa, and how to invest in the Mr. Robert Frost company, but they will want to understanding more about step by step to apply L1 visa, Eb5 green card, what they have to prepare about the documentary, about the amount of money and others. Would you please have them?
Yes. We start with Eb5 first.
Yeah.
Eb5. The Eb5 visa requires that you invest 500 United States dollars in a,
Thousand.
well, it could be 500 or 1,000, 1 million.
million.
Right.
You confused me. Wait. $500,000 or $1 million, depending where you invest, the location of where you invest. Most regional centers, and let me explain that is in a minute, will help you invest $500,000, and that's where the majority of the Eb5 is invested in the lower amount, the 500,000. The reason we have two investment amounts, 500,000 or 1 million, is depending on where the business is located. If the investment is put in an area of the United States that is designated as an area that needs more money, more investment to develop, then the government will allow $500,000 to participate in Eb5 in a project located in that area. If you invest in, I don't know, I guess Beverly Hills, some very rich area that doesn't need money to develop, is considered a rich area. That area will require you to invest $1 million. So you can see where the government is trying to allow you a better, lower investment if you invest in an area that needs the investment. Makes sense, okay? Regional centers are companies that are formed under the approval of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, the Federal Immigration Agency. They give a permit or approval for these companies to form called regional centers. And these companies, the only reason that they exist is to process Eb5 investment and manage them for the investor, participate in the program, okay? Regional centers have many different projects. Some of them are doing hotels, housing, parks, roads, railroads. It could be any kind of infrastructure. But in this case, Mr. Robert has an Eb5 investment project through his regional center. He owns a regional center in Texas, and they're having an investment in a water recycling treatment facility plant to service the oil field industry in Texas. So that's his Eb5 program. It qualifies for the lower investment of $500,000. Why? Because the facility where you're going to invest to build, it's in an area designated as needing improvement and money, so it's a lower amount. So that's the amount for EB5. Once you decide that you like the investment and you would like to invest, you will then immediately hire an attorney. Hopefully that will be me. Be my privilege and honor to be your attorney. And we will help you sign all the documents, contracts that you will need to sign in order to become a limited partner in Mr. Roberts' project for EB5. So essentially he's taking a group of investors, everybody putting $500,000 into a pool fund, which then will make a loan to the developer of the facility. So you become a group, gets their money together, makes a commercial bank loan to the facility, and the facility will use your money to build and operate and create 10 American jobs per investor. The visa requires the EB5 that every $500,000 or investor generate 10 jobs for Americans. That's the rule. It's called job creation visa. Some people don't know that. It's called job creation visa. Who creates the jobs? Mr. Roberts. He has the responsibility to create the jobs for all his investors. So that means that if he has 10 investors, he has to create 100 jobs, 10 for each investor. But you don't have to worry about that because he has it. He will do it. It's in his business plan. It is in his management plan to create that for you. Okay? So that's EB5. Once you hire the lawyer, we will help you understand the legal documents that you're signing. You will read it with us. In this case, Miss Amy in Vietnam is going to help me. You can't sign a document you don't understand. You will understand your document. That's our job. You will then sign and subscribe and send your money. We will help you with that process of sending your money to the United States to make your investment. I will be working with Amy and her law firm to help me with that process. We've done it before. Then, once your money is in, then I will begin to work with you to prove that the money that you invested comes from lawful legal activities. It's called source of legal funds. I know, you know, that our investors are lawful people, right? We don't represent bad people. We don't represent criminals. We don't represent illegal money. All my clients are business people. They're families, they're good families, but the government doesn't know you. They only know me. And I have to prove that the money that you invested is lawful, meaning it was earned legally. Through how? Your job, your work, your company, inheritance, gift from your parents, because they earned it from their work, sale of home, real estate, sale of land, or a loan from a bank. There's many different ways to get to your $500,000. Depending how, I will work with you expertly and legally to prove it with documents. And why? Because the US government agency will never interview you when they're looking at your file. I have to prove it in paper. I have to provide many, many papers to make my case for you. Because they can't ask you a question, okay? They will not. They don't have the system to do it. You have one shot at getting it done. One, only one. So we have to be experts in doing this. I have 28 years of legal experience as an attorney, and I have at least 18 as an immigration. And I've been doing EB5 since 2006. That's what, 12 years? So I've done hundreds of EB5, and I know, and my staff knows what we need. We know what we need. The question is, how do I get it from you? Especially if I don't know your language. So it creates challenges, But that's why we partner with people like Robert, Kathy, and people like Amy and her law firm, and other people in this table, like Vivian V, who will help me do that. And then once I get it, I will say yes, no, good, no, and prepare a very detailed package. It's about this big that will be provided to the government. The government then will review my presentation, right? Very extensive presentation. I would write a letter to the government explaining your case and why you win, why I win for you, okay? How you meet the law. Very important that I understand how to do that. The government will review that and make a decision. And then if they like, they will approve if I did my job. And then they will send me an approval notice on the United States government letterhead. And we're very happy when we get that. It says approved. At that moment, we all celebrate. We will call you and we'll drink champagne and celebrate.
2 o'clock in the
Blah,
morning.
blah,
Because
2 o'clock in the morning.
I will call you.
ก็เราทำนะ
I will call you at 2 o'clock.
And don't call me 2 more
I'll call you at 2 o'clock in the morning because we approved. So then we then have to go into a second process, which is getting your appointment with the United States Embassy or consular officer in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh to get your visa, your green card stamp. And that process takes a few months for us to get that done. You don't have to worry, we'll get it done for you. We'll notify you when you have your appointment. You go to the consulate with your approval notice and your passport and your birth certificate and other original documents. And then you will have a 5-minute interview, about 5 minutes, with the consul, but you're approved. And then you will get your green card and they'll say, welcome to America. And that's what we want to hear. And then you get on a plane and you come to see me with your green card. And maybe post it on Facebook.
Sure, of course, many people will do that.
Yeah, I got one yesterday from Argentina. So that's the process for EB5. Once you're in the country, you're a permanent resident of the United States. You go get Social Security card, very important. You go to get your driver license. You buy a home, you put your children in school, and you start your new life. And that's what happens. And Kathy will help you with all of that. Then 2 years after you are approved, we have to do a second filing. It's called 829 filing, which is removal of condition. Why? Because your green card was approved with the condition that he create your jobs. And then you have to prove the government that you did create those jobs. And you go back, I will go back and file that. You don't have to do anything because I get all my information from Mr. Robert and his company that's managing the business for you. So I will get it from him, I will do the filing, and eventually they'll send you a permanent green card. No interview. And that's it. 5 years after your first green card, not the second, first one. 5 years after that, you can apply for US passport. You can become a naturalized citizen of the United States. And the important thing that I want people to know is that the way the green cards work is, let's say you have mother, father, and 2 children, 2 brothers, okay? You don't have everybody be citizen at the same time. Some of them can do it and some don't, or all of them or none. You can stay green card 20, 30 years. Maybe your children want a passport, but you don't. Maybe your wife wants it or husband doesn't, for whatever family reason. But it gives you the flexibility to choose who's gonna get the passport. Very important for people to know that, okay? So that's the EB5. Like I said, it's the most direct way to a green card. And all I have to prove with your help is that your investment funds are lawful, from lawful business activities. And that's not that difficult because our clients are all lawful people, right? I think all my clients are lawful people. I'm convinced they are. Okay, that's the EB5. L1, like I said, is a temporary visa. Temporary meaning it's not a green card. Green card permanent. Temporary visa, 7 year. 1, 3, 3, right? All right. L1 means executive transfer. The idea is that you have or you work for a Vietnam company. There has to be a Vietnam company that decides to expand in the United States, go abroad, make an affiliate company in the United States. Why? Because it wants to transfer you over there to run the US subsidiary or affiliate. That's why it's called executive transfer. I have to prove 3 things. That's why I have to work a little harder. EB5, I only prove 1 thing, lawful source of funds. L1, I prove 3 things. More work for me. I prove the existence of the Vietnam company. Registration, name, who owns it, what it does. We have restaurants, we import seafood, we are, whatever we do, beauty products, beer, whatever we end up doing. Miss Amy and her law firm will help me do that. I have to prove the existence of the Vietnam company. There's some documents that I will need to prove. Some of them are company registration, government permits. I have to show what it does, location, office, even photographs of the building where you office. Why? Why? Because nobody from the United States government will travel to knock on your door and see if it's real. They can't, they won't. So I have to convince them it's real with documents. And we show even pictures. Google Map, everything, whatever we can, okay? Then I show that the company operates. It sells something. Why? I do it with documentation, sales, taxes, evidence of operation, bank statements. We will work with Amy and her team on that. Then the second thing I have to prove, it's what are you gonna do in the United States? That you establish a US subsidiary affiliate. So one company connected to the other, okay? I have to form the company for you. My law firm will register your US company, okay? I will then make sure that you open a bank account. And that is your corporate account. That's where you're gonna put your money to invest. And that company, I have to prove what it's going to do in the United States. Well, in this case, it's going to be investing in Robert's projects. I have to come up with a business plan to explain what it will do. We have that in place already. Who's going to do that? But I will review to make sure it's done right. Okay? So I'm responsible for the whole thing. Then I will provide evidence that the money was deposited. That's called in English funding your company. Okay? And the use of that money. If you bought trucks, the paperwork. If you bought a building, the paperwork. If you bought inventory, the paperwork. Okay? Whatever it is. And then I have to prove that you're coming to the United States to be an executive, a manager. You cannot have an L1 and be the person that's making coffee or cleaning the bathroom or doing low-level, everyday job. You can't be the driver of the truck. They won't allow that. They want you to be the manager, general manager, top level of your company. Okay? So I have to show that that is your job and that other people will do the other things. And that's already planned in Robert's plan, job, business plan. And the last thing I need to prove, and this is where we get in trouble sometimes, because it's not clear, in many countries it's not very clear, that you are an executive or high-level manager in Vietnam. Both. So sometimes we get in trouble because we can't find documents because you're the owner. And sometimes, well, how do I prove I own and I work there? Well, there's ways to prove it. Many, many different ways. So then I have to prove that you function as a general manager in your company. You own it and function as a general manager. Or maybe your father owns it and you're the general manager. Or maybe your aunt or uncle. So those are the 3 things I have to prove. If I do that, I win. I win the visa. Then a year later, I have to extend it. And I have to prove that the company in the United States is doing what it said it was gonna do, because I told them, promise, and I have to meet my promise. And then I have to prove that the Vietnam company continues to work without you. If I don't prove that, I lose. Yeah? And they will allow me to extend it. The last step is the green card, EB1C. Remember that, EB1C. EB1C is a green card for L1. It's essentially the same proof, but higher, tougher. I have to fight harder for you. What they want to see is everything the same, but you're growing your business. They want to see that you came to America, to US, to grow your business. So you started maybe with, let's say example, one restaurant, and now you have 2 restaurants. You expanded. Maybe you decided to open another place. Maybe you came and you opened an import-export company, and now you have another facility. They want to see growth. Because the argument that I will make for you is that you need to get a green card, because if you do not get a green card, your company is not going to do well. Because you're the key to the success of the company. Without you, it don't work. So you need to give me a green card for him, because he grew the company successfully.
Created jobs.
Created jobs, and that will win. Now, if you don't grow the company, it's just the same. They're like, okay, we'll give you 7 years, but then bye-bye. Hire an American manager to do it. No, you have to make a difference because you're the manager, right? So that's the story. And I think when the investor understands this story that I'm telling you, which is the truth, but when they understand what I have to prove, they help me get there. They help me because they know what I have to say and prove. So that's how L1 works. So as you can see, comparing to EB5 is a lot more work for us, but it's faster to get to the United States and get to the green card. And you're in the United States working and enjoying living there, going to school and other things while you wait on your green card. EB5, you have to wait outside. So I don't think one is better than the other, but it's just different. Depends on your preference. The other benefit is that even on the L1, the spouse can work. So they can come to the United States and the wife or whoever, the spouse, will have a work permit to work anywhere she wants or he wants. So that's beneficial as well. And the children can attend school at local rates of residence, which is very, very good price, and pretty much start developing credit history. You have to have a social security to create credit history, and you can get that with an L1 as soon as you get in. So those are the benefits of the L1. I believe that I've done many L1s over the years where somebody did their own business. It's called direct L1. That's what it's called, where you do your own investment. And I feel that the investor is very stressful, very stressful. They're like, scared. Am I gonna make it? Am I growing fast enough? And I feel sorry because they're stressed out, and they shouldn't be. But I also understand their visa depends on it, and they made a life there. That's why I like this project with Robert, because you're essentially managing it, helping you, and growing it with you. And you have a partner in the business that's very knowledgeable about the business, and he's gonna help you get there. And he's provided a plan that shows growth. So it makes my job easier, because you're growing your business in the business plan that you committed to do from the beginning. So we don't have a situation where you go, oh, 3rd year, what do I do now? What do I buy? Oh, I don't know what. Well, let me buy you something. And I do that. Let's go buy you a coffee shop, because we need more jobs. But I don't want to run a coffee shop. Well, I don't care, buy a coffee shop, because we're desperate, right? We don't want that. We want a plan, so it works. And what I see with the project that Robert is here explaining, an offering to Vietnamese investors is that the plan is already formed for you to get there. So I think that's why I'm so excited about the L1 program that Robert has in Vietnam, and that's why it's going to be successful. Of course, nobody can guarantee the government of the United States will do anything. They're my friends, but I don't own them. But what I can say is that it is planned the correct way. I hope that explains the differences in the EB5 and the L1. And I'm sure we can get into the details later of each of their projects. EB5 is a different project than the L1 project. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me, I don't know how much time you have, but there's one very important component that we've left out of all of this. May I address
Yes,
that?
please.
Okay. We didn't really introduce Vivian Tran. She is our representative here, the project leader, manager, if you will, for our EB5 and L1 that we do here, specifically in Vietnam, but really throughout Asia, is her responsibility. V is from Vietnam. She's also a Canadian citizen. She holds Canadian citizenship, and being from Vietnam, she obviously speaks Vietnamese. One of the...
Well, I can introduce myself.
Well, tell everyone what you do and why it's important that
Yeah.
you be doing it, because none of us live here.
Well,
And we
so
leave and go home.
my name is Vivian Trans, and I was born and raised in Ho Chi Minh City. I went to Canada when I was 15, and eventually I'm a Canadian citizen right now. My role in this team is I'm going to represent Mr. Robert in the project. So I'm here in Asia to assist our client together with the lawyers and the counselor, whichever, but I represent the company. So anything that the client needs help or question or whichever, they can always reach me. And it will be my pleasure to work with all of you and giving out as much as I could. So.
Yeah, one of the challenges for us that we've discovered over the past 3 years is that, you know, Wilka lives in the United States, and Kathy lives in the United States, and I live in the United States, and I come over here 4 or 5 times a year, and it's very important to me that I do 2 things: that I visit with all of our existing EB5 investors and soon-to-be L1 investors, and if they're still here in Vietnam, and make sure that they are informed about what's going on with the projects, etc. But sometimes things come up and things need to be followed up on, and I'm not here, you know, Kathy may not be here, and certainly Wilka may not be here, and so all of that can be handled by Vivian here in Vietnam, and she acts
also
as
Asia in general.
Yeah. So she acts as the conduit directly from the investor or those people who are looking at this opportunity. Questions will come up, and it's difficult sometimes to communicate from the United States. It's 12-hour time difference for us, so it's exactly opposite on the clock from what it is in Vietnam. And she's here, and she's very, very knowledgeable. She's been following our program here for about 2 years, and she is very capable and knowledgeable about all aspects of it. So sometimes people that make this important life-changing decision, they need someone to hold their hand a little bit every once in a while. We have moments where a little doubt or concern drifts into our mind, and we have questions, and maybe it's 2 o'clock in the morning in the United States and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, and you want to call and talk to me, or you want to talk to Wilka, but you know that it's the middle of the night and we're not going to be happy about being awakened, so they can call V and say, hey V, what about this, what about that? I'm concerned, this just came up, you know, I just thought about this, what are we going to do? She is very capable of addressing those issues and being in that direct relationship with our clients and with our prospective clients.
Quý vị và các bạn thân mến, là bên cạnh ông Robert thì có một người sẽ đóng vai trò quan trọng trong việc kết nối quý vị với công ty của ngài Robert đây, đó là chị Vivian. Chị Vivian là người đại diện cho chương trình đầu tư của công ty và không chỉ ở Việt Nam mà là còn ở trên phạm vi châu Á. Và rất may mắn đó là chị là người Việt Nam và chị có thể nói tiếng Việt một cách rõ ràng để quý vị các bạn có thể hiểu rõ bất kỳ một câu hỏi nào đều có thể được chị Vivian giải thích rõ ràng và giúp quý vị hiểu rõ hơn về cơ hội tuyệt vời để đến với đất Mỹ này. Quý vị và các bạn, đã có một khoảng thời gian dài để được trò chuyện với ngài Robert Frost. Thank you so much for your being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Với luật sư Winka, thank you for your guidance, for your help, for your experience with Vietnamese client today.
Sure.
Thank you for help us to understand more about the visa, about the process, and about everything we have to prepare. Yeah. Và một điều tuyệt vời nữa là chúng ta phải cảm ơn hai người phụ nữ, đó là chị Ami và chị Kathy. Hai người đã đến đây không chỉ là những người mang đến cơ hội để quý vị và các bạn có thể có một khoản đầu tư tuyệt vời trên đất Mỹ, mà với sự giúp đỡ của những người này, quý vị hoàn toàn có thể mang đến cho chính mình và gia đình mình một cuộc sống tốt đẹp hơn. Và tôi nghĩ rằng là như ngài Robert đã nói là when you come to Vietnam in 1970, the most important thing is survive, right?
Survive, yes.
Yeah. And because we also survived from 1970 to until now, so I think that is very easy to survive in US.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Quý vị và các bạn chúng ta đã có một khoảng thời gian dài trò chuyện với nhau, và tôi nghĩ rằng với nội dung của cuộc trò chuyện này thì quý vị đã có thể hiểu rõ hơn về visa của L1, visa của Eb5 và các hình thức đầu tư làm như thế nào để chúng ta có thể đảm bảo rằng khoản đầu tư của chúng ta không chỉ là một khoản đầu tư mang lại visa mà còn có thể mang lại cho chúng ta một cuộc sống tốt đẹp hơn, một doanh nghiệp, một khoản đầu tư đảm bảo rằng đó là khoản đầu tư sinh lợi và khoản đầu tư mang lại lợi ích cho cuộc sống của gia đình bạn trong tương lai. Cảm ơn quý vị và các bạn, và hy vọng rằng những thông tin ngày hôm nay của chúng tôi đã thật sự giúp quý vị và các bạn có được những thông tin hữu ích, và chúng ta có thể gặp lại nhau ở những lần gặp mặt tiếp theo, để có thể biết đâu đấy chúng ta lại gặp nhau ở vị trí không phải là những người giới thiệu thông tin nữa, mà quý vị sẽ trở thành client của tất cả các quý ngài đang có mặt ở đây. Cảm ơn quý vị và các bạn đã quan tâm theo dõi. Xin kính chào tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại.